Under the roaring lights of the Los Angeles Stadium, Ethan Cole basks in victory, or at least pretends to. The crowd chants his name as cameras capture his every move, but behind his $1 million smile lies exhaustion. Fame has become performance art, and he's the lead actor trapped in his own spotlight. Backstage, his agent talks numbers, his girlfriend angles her phone for content, and the applause fades into static. Alone in the locker room, Ethan scrolls through social media, a blur of praise, criticism, and emptiness. He's won the game, yet somehow he feels like he's losing himself. Across town, Maya Thompson is recording her latest podcast episode, passionately dismantling the illusion of fame. She's fiery, blunt, and refreshingly real, the kind of journalist who values truth over trends. When her editor assigns her to cover Ethan Cole's community outreach event, she groans in protest, rolling her eyes at the idea of glorifying another celebrity do-gooder. To her, these events are nothing but image control, PR in disguise. But still, she shows up, notebook in hand, ready to expose the hollowness of sports stardom for what it really is. At the event, their paths cross unexpectedly. Maya's cynical remark, calling Ethan a walking PR machine, slices through the polite chatter. Instead of anger, Ethan feels a jolt of intrigue. For the first time in years, someone speaks to him, not at him. That moment lingers. Later, moved by her honesty, Ethan secretly donates to the charity she champions, hoping to help quietly. But when Maya discovers the anonymous donation, suspicion replaces gratitude. She wonders if it's genuine or just another calculated move in the game of fame she despises. Ethan Cole's life has always been built on pressure. Growing up in a tiny Ohio town, he watched his single mother, Claire, sacrifice everything to keep food on the table, working double shifts, skipping meals, cheering from the stands with tired eyes. When Ethan's talent on the field began to shine, he promised himself he'd give her the life she deserved. But when fame came, it swallowed him whole. Endorsements replaced friendships, schedules replaced freedom, and smiling became part of the job. Now, every touchdown feels hollow. Success without sincerity, applause without connection, glory without peace. Maya Thompson's world was built on the opposite side of fame. Her mother, once a radiant Hollywood star, was torn apart by tabloids when one scandal ruined her career. Maya grew up watching her mother's confidence crumble under public judgment, the lights that once adored her turning cruel. Determined never to be at anyone's mercy, Maya carved her path in truth, writing articles that exposed hypocrisy and shallow celebrity culture. Fiercely independent, she built emotional walls high enough to protect herself from the same pain. To her, fame isn't a dream, it's a slow, shining destruction. When Ethan and Maya finally sit down for their first interview, sparks fly, not of attraction, but challenge. Ethan tries to show sincerity, desperate to prove there's more to him than the brand people consume. Maya listens with skeptical eyes, calling out every polished answer, every media-trained smile. Yet beneath the verbal fencing, something shifts. She catches glimpses of a lost, boyish honesty in him. He finds comfort in her refusal to flatter. Two people from opposite worlds, one drowning in attention, the other hiding from it, begin to see reflections of their own loneliness in each other. Maya's article hits the internet like a storm. The man behind the mask, fame without a soul, is raw, fearless, and painfully honest, exposing Ethan Cole as a symbol of everything wrong with celebrity worship. She expects backlash, maybe even legal threats, but instead, Ethan reaches out personally. His message is simple. You saw something no one else did. Can we talk? Curious, she agrees. In a quiet diner, far from flashing cameras, he opens up, admitting his panic attacks, sleepless nights, and the crushing emptiness beneath the fame. For the first time, Maya sees the human behind the myth, Their coffee meetings become a refuge. No microphones, no lenses, just two tired souls rediscovering what honesty feels like. Ethan talks about his mother, his lost freedom, and the exhaustion of pretending to be perfect. Maya listens, and slowly, her guarded cynicism softens. She laughs more, he breathes easier, and together they begin to build something fragile yet real. But the illusion of privacy doesn't last. One night, a photographer captures them walking under city lights, and within hours, headlines explode. NFL star cheats with small-time blogger. The world that broke them both strikes again, cruel and sensational. The fallout is brutal. Maya is fired from her publication, branded a homewrecker, and buried under waves of online hate. Ethan's PR team rushes into crisis mode, ordering him to deny any connection to her. But this time, he refuses to play the game. Standing before a wall of cameras at a live press conference, Ethan defends her publicly, his voice trembling but resolute. She told the truth, and I won't apologize for that. In that moment, Maya watches through tears. No one had ever risked everything for her before. His courage becomes her undoing and her awakening. The fallout deepens like a storm that refuses to pass. Ethan's sponsors begin to back away, terrified of controversy. Brand deals vanish overnight, and his image, once flawless, is dragged through every headline. Then the final betrayal. Sienna, his ex-girlfriend, leaks private photos and texts to the tabloids, spinning a narrative of deceit and manipulation. Meanwhile, Maya's world crumbles in silence. She's doxxed, harassed, and shamed online, her inbox filled with threats and insults. Her mother's voice echoes in her mind. This is what fame does. It destroys everything it touches. For Maya, those words start to feel like prophecy. Desperate to shield Maya from more pain, Ethan makes the hardest choice. He pulls away. He stops calling, stops visiting, believing distance will protect her from the fallout. But to Maya, it feels like betrayal. When they finally meet, the confrontation erupts raw and unfiltered. She accuses him of being a coward, of hiding behind excuses and PR spin like everyone else. Ethan, already unraveling, lashes out in frustration, his mask cracking under the pressure. The argument leaves them shattered, two people who wanted to heal each other now standing on opposite sides of heartbreak. The days that follow mirror their separation. Ethan spirals, skipping practices, snapping at journalists, and numbing himself with alcohol. The media calls it a meltdown. Maya, on the other hand, retreats into solitude. Quietly, she begins writing again, an anonymous column titled The Loneliness of Fame, using her pain as ink. As Ethan's reputation burns on screens across the country, Maya's words start resonating with readers who feel unseen. Then comes the cruel temptation. A major media outlet offers her a life-changing sum to write and expose on Ethan's private life. For Maya, it's the ultimate test, survival or integrity. When the offer for the expose arrives, Maya spends sleepless nights wrestling with it, her rent overdue, her future uncertain. But in the end, she refuses. She won't destroy the only person who ever stood up for her. Yet a week later, her world implodes again. The media publishes a damning article under her name, twisted from her private drafts, full of half-truths and poison. Ethan, blindsided and humiliated, believes she sold him out. His pain curdles into fury. In front of millions, he denounces her on social media, calling her a liar. The internet explodes. Hate rains down on Maya once more, mercilessly. Then silence. Maya vanishes from every platform, her phone disconnected, her apartment empty. For the first time, Ethan feels the echo of his own words, how easily anger can destroy what love tried to protect. His next game is a disaster, Missed passes, boos from the crowd, and a hollow stare replacing the fire in his eyes. Afterward, as he sits in the locker room, drenched in sweat and regret, his phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. This is Maya's mom. She didn't leak anything. Please don't let them win. Ethan's blood runs cold. The truth finally cuts through the noise. Determined to make it right, Ethan digs, and what he finds shatters him. His own agent orchestrated the leak, feeding the tabloids to spark controversy and boost Ethan's comeback narrative. Every betrayal, every headline had been engineered. The next morning, Ethan walks into a live network interview and detonates the truth. Cameras roll as he confronts his agent, voice trembling but fierce. You sold my soul for ratings? Then, with the world watching, he rips off his microphone and declares, if this is fame, I don't want it. The clip goes viral within minutes. A legend dismantles his own myth live. Months pass in silence. The headlines fade, the noise dissolves, and Ethan Cole vanishes from the world that once devoured him. Far from Los Angeles, he settles back in his small Ohio hometown, the same place where his mother once cheered from rusty bleachers. Here, he finds peace not in fame, but in simplicity. He coaches local kids football, teaching them what no one taught him, how to love the game without letting it consume you. No cameras, no fans, just laughter and grass stains. For the first time in years, Ethan breathes freely, rediscovering the man behind the myth. Meanwhile, Maya rebuilds her life from the ashes of public ruin. She starts a small online publication, a quiet corner of the internet dedicated to honesty, mental health, and the human side of media. Her words no longer aim to expose. They aim to heal. The anonymous column that once voiced loneliness becomes a movement, inspiring thousands to reclaim authenticity in a world of filters. Maya's mother, once fearful of fame, reads her daughter's essays with pride. Slowly, Maya begins to trust the world again and herself. The woman who once ran from the spotlight now shapes her own light. Fate, or maybe grace, brings them together once more at a youth charity event in Ohio. The setting feels familiar, yet different. No flashbulbs, no scripts, just sincerity. Ethan sees her across the field, older in spirit but radiant in truth. When they finally speak, there's no grand confession, only quiet understanding. Ethan apologizes not for doubting her, but for losing himself to the chaos. Maya smiles softly. Maybe we both needed to disappear to be real again. They don't promise forever, they promise honesty. As children play around them, the world keeps turning, but for them, peace finally stays. The sun dips low over the Ohio field, painting the sky in shades of gold and rose. Ethan and Maya sit side by side on the metal bleachers, wrapped in the soft hum of laughter and the sound of kids chasing dreams across the grass. There are no cameras now, no applause, just the honest rhythm of life returning to normal. Ethan's hand rests loosely between them, their shoulders brushing, not out of need, but quiet understanding. The man who once drowned in fame and the woman who feared it both sit still, watching life unfold without performance, without noise, finally free. As the scene plays, Maya's voice drifts in, calm, thoughtful, and steady, from her new podcast. Maybe fame isn't poison, she says softly. Maybe it's just the wrong kind of mirror. It shows you everything except who you are, until someone comes along who sees you without it. Her words carry a quiet truth that lingers in the air. For both of them, the journey wasn't about falling in love with each other. It was about finding love for themselves again. The applause of the world has faded, replaced by something infinitely louder, inner peace. A small boy runs up the bleachers, clutching a scuffed football. "Coach, will you teach me to throw like you?" he asks, eyes wide with hope. Ethan smiles, a real unguarded smile, and stands. He takes the ball, glances once at Maya, then tosses it across the field. The ball arcs high through the golden sunset, spinning slow and perfect. It's not a symbol of glory anymore, but of peace, a promise that life, even after chaos, can still be beautiful. Maya laughs quietly as Ethan jogs down to join the kids. The screen fades on that laughter, soft, human-free.